Hello, my YouTube world. This is Johnny Mo. What's going on? What's going on? This video is going to be Spring Rush Trap 2, and I hope that you guys can see this. This is my answer machine. I'm not sure if you can. It says 20 messages on it. And the reason why you're in the mess that you're in right now is because you've returned all those and you've tried to go bid all those, and you've put that into your work. And you're already working 6-7 days, and now you're putting pressure on yourself. You're trying to find employees. You're trying to buy new equipment. You're trying to do this. You're trying, boom, and you're getting tired because you're mentally fatigued, and things are going by the wayside. There's no system in place. I'm not saying growth is bad. I'm saying growth when you're not ready for it is terrible. And all of you know that I'm a big branch theology guy. And the closer to the tree, the stronger the branch. The further out you go, the weaker the branch. And what happens is people come way out too far, way too fast. Branch snaps, they fall down. They do this year after year. They don't know what's going on. I can't grow my business. I can't do this. You don't have systems in place. I am now officially a solo guy. Been solo for a few years now. I went from 2 crews down to just me. And so what I'm going to talk about, I'm an authority in this area. First of all, I've been in it for 22 years. Secondly, I had crews. I had one truck going one way, another truck going another way. So I know what Spring Rush Trap is. I got you. You're into it. So I'm going to give you some tips, some quick tips on how to handle the Spring Rush Trap. The very first thing you do, those came in over the weekend. Those 20 came from Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. When I came to my office today, I looked, and it's 20 minutes. I just started laughing. I'm not going to return one of those phone calls. There's $20,000 worth of work there. Doesn't matter if you can't get to it. What does it matter? Well, John, you need to hire. Hire in the middle of a spring rush? Try to train someone in the spring rush? Try to put on a crew in the spring rush. Keep buying mowers in the middle of spring rush. And then next winter comes and you've got all these payments and you've paid all these people and you're like, where's the money at? I thought I did good. It looks good now because you're working 6-7 days a week. The money's coming in, so at the end of the month you bill out. You got all this money coming in, but you're not going to be working in December. You're not going to be working in January. You're not going to be working in February. And all of a sudden you find yourself struggling in March like, man, I got to get some work. I got to get some work. How many years are you going to do this? How many years are you going to fill up your bank account, let it drop? Fill it up, let it drop. Fill it. The last, I'd say 5 years, my bank account's been, it goes up during this time because you're mowing, but it doesn't go to those deep, deep lows anymore because I figured out that the Spring Rush Trap is what it is. It's a trap. It's a trap to keep you spinning your wheels, buying more equipment, buying more trucks, buying, hiring more people, boom. And I didn't know my numbers. So I'm going to give you, that's enough about that. I'm going to give you some practical things to help you through this. The very first thing you want to do is stop answering the phone until, now most people have somewhere where they put their list of work, and it's off on a list. This is the list that we have. I have mine on my iPhone. Some have a big whiteboard. What you need to do is buy a calendar. And if you're a mowing guy, you need to put in your calendar Monday through however many days that you are working right now. And you need to put it in there. And then you need to put your landscape jobs and insert them in there. And say, man, I really don't have time. There is no time. What I'm about to say is going to be very unpopular. And until you get it here, you're going to be miserable. You're going to hate your job. I'm just going to throw it out there. Until you get your mowing down to 35 hours a week, and yes, that is with a crew. If you got crews, you need to get your mowing down to 35 hours a week. If not, you're not going to make any money. You're not going to make any money. You're not. I'm going to show you here in just a few minutes. Once you start working over 40 hours and you have employees, there's something called overtime. And you must pay it. Federal law, you have to pay overtime. Oh, I don't do that. I just pay salary. Now listen, for some of these guys that are under 30 years old, they just got out of high school, they're starting businesses, they're doing really well. they have what's called a friend pool because they still have friends in high school. And what happens is the friends in high school help them out on the weekends and at night because they're in college, they need a job. Like, hey, my buddy's got a lawn business, I'll work for him. And you slide them some cash under the table, or you give them a 1099, and you think, oh, or the 1099, you know, they're subcontract. They're not subcontract. You're just asking for trouble when you do this stuff. So you give them, slide them some cash under the table, or you do whatever you do, which I don't. It's just setting you up for failure later. And all of a sudden, you get married around 28. And then your friends start to go get jobs, and they get married, and all of a sudden your friend pool shrinks down to nothing. You're in your 30s now. You have a successful business, but your friend pool shrank, and now you got to hire, and now you got to do it legit, and now you have all these new bills, and you're like, this is the most dangerous part of being in business right here, because you don't know your numbers. And you don't know what it costs to really cut that lawn because you're sliding your friend cash. And now all of a sudden, you got to try to keep an employee. You got to help him supply for his family. And this is where the mistakes that I've made and the mistakes that you're going to make. And you got to understand that if someone comes to work for you and they're over 30, they have a family, $8, $9, $10, $11 an hour is not going to supply enough to feed the family. So you have to build the type of business that can not only support you and your family and your business, but help support a person's family. $15 to $25 an hour is what if you want to build a legitimate business, if you want to build and keep employees. I see plenty of videos going boom, 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 boom. In and out, employees. Even the really big channels. If you go down through their list, if you go all the way down through when they first started, how many employees left and came? You're not going to be able to pay them $10, $11 an hour and keep them. You're going to have to offer health benefits. And to get that way, you're going to have to know your numbers and be legitimate because you're bringing someone on not only to help you. See, it's not all about you. I want you to help me build my dream. Well, what about their dream? They have a dream too. You got to help build their dream. You got to give them hospitalization. You got to give them some vacation time. You can't just pay someone $10 an hour and work them 60 hours a week and expect, oh, they're just lazy. They're not lazy. No one wants to work like that. No one wants to work like a dog in that heat. That's the problem that you're having. It takes years to figure it out. And by the time you figure it out, your business is upside down. It's fully indebted because the spring rush trap made you buy a new truck, made you buy 2 new mowers, and all of a sudden you bought the wrong mowers for your area. And you're watching these channels. They're doing demos, and those demos, and I'm just going to call one out. Brian's doing a demo of the Skag Turf Tiger, and he just did one on the V-Ride. And the guy that gave him the demo made a bad statement because YouTube goes throughout the country. I believe Brian's in Michigan, somewhere in Michigan. He said, this won't clump. It'll throw, it doesn't clump. Okay, bring it here. Let's go. Bent grass, Kentucky Blue, rye, fine fescue, and the fescue family. 4 mixes in the Pittsburgh area. Come right now. I want you to come, and I want you to video it, and I'll use your mower. Show me it won't clump. We have 2 companies that run Skag in this company, in this area here. And clumping, the lawns are absolutely destroyed. It's growing from 3.5 inches to 9. I measured a couple of my lawns at 14 inches, especially the fertilized ones. Well, Johnny, no deck is gonna. That's not true. The Exmark decks perform, the Toro deck performs, and the Ferris perform. Do you have to double cut? Sometimes triple. Absolutely. But they can clean the lawn up. Can you clean it? I couldn't clean it up with the Skag. So I think to say buying the right deck in your area, and in your area, Skag might be the right deck. John Deere might be the right deck. Exmark might be the right deck. You might take an Exmark over to Texas, and it might do a terrible job, or down south might do a terrible job. You don't want to get that one. You might want to buy the Skag for that area. But to come on YouTube, oh, it won't. Oh, you can go out early morning. It just rained last night. You're not cutting right now. I don't care if you have a Skag. I owned it. I owned it. I put 75 hours on it. I took a $500 loss to get rid of it. So, and I made the challenge. Skag, you want to come up here? Bring your 37 horse. Bring whatever you want. Let's go. But we're videotaping it. We're going to cut a spring rush lawn, and we're going to cut it once, and we're going to see if it doesn't clump. That's the challenge. And that's why I'm saying you got to be careful of just looking at one video, even my video, because the Skag in that area might be the best mower. And guess what? That's the mower I'm buying. That mower that can cut that grass, that's the mower I'm buying. Skag, John Deere, doesn't matter to me. Quit buying color, buy deck. Buy deck for your area. The next thing you want to look at is the power of the engine. Get the most power you possibly can afford. After that, you're looking at comfort. At my age, I'm looking at comfort first. Exmark and Toro both outperform the Ferris, but they're not as comfortable. So that's why I own a Ferris. Now, skipping all that, let's get right back into the main part of the spring rush trap. So you have employees, you're taking on all this work, and you're jam-packing them. You're working 6-7 days a week. But here's what's happening. On Thursday afternoon, something happens. You're taking an employee who's making, we'll say, $15 an hour. And we'll say that you're paying legit. You got workman's comp, you're matching the taxes, you're paying them fit. And then all of a sudden, something happens. 40 hours by Thursday afternoon, and you're working Friday, and you're working Saturday, and sometimes some of you guys are even working Sunday. And what's happening is you're paying time and a half overtime. So that employee that was making $15 an hour is now making $22.50. We'll say, I don't know off the top of my head. So now you're going to cut a $40 lawn with an employee, and right now with the spring rush trap, you've got a deck that can't handle the lawns. You're triple, quadruple cutting. Something that's taking 30 minutes is now taking 40 minutes or 50 or even an hour to try to make the lawn look right. And the guy's making $22.50 an hour. That's not counting the other crew member. And all that landscape that you hurried up and took all those landscapes and you hurry up and bid them. And the only time you can do it now is like on a Friday afternoon or a Saturday. And the guys are making overtime. And all of that work that you bid, did you bid it for time and a half? So all that work that you said yes to is being done on set. Well, you have to do it because you're behind. And what's happening is you're making all these stressful decisions in the middle of the spring rush. How do you know this, John? How do you know? Because you're saying that's me. And I can tell you because that was me. Until I figured out the mowing has to be 35 hours a week. I'm not working 45, 50, 60 hours anymore. You gotta hustle, you gotta grind. You're not making any money because you hustle and grind. You're making money because you know your numbers. I'm gonna give you one last tip and I'm gonna end this video. Every Monday, I'm in my office right now, it's Monday morning, I pay the next 10 days worth of bills. I put that number on this little yellow sheet of paper. And then I divide that by 40. And I get what I need to make per week to pay those bills that I just paid out for 10 days. Now, if I get gas in the week or if I have a landscape bill, I don't quite know what that landscape's going to be, then I'll add that to that and divide that by 40 whenever it comes in. And then at the end of the week on Saturday evening or whenever I get time, I'll do what I did for the week and I'll see if I covered the bills. That's a very rudimentary way to figure out if you're making money or not. And if you're close in those extremes, you're not going to make any money, because once you start having employees and trying to pay them properly and understanding that they have a life too, you have to bring your hours down. You have to bring the work on the wall into a calendar to even know if you can even fit it in. Guys, that's my time. Hope you enjoyed this video. I know if you listen to me, you will have a much smoother spring rush trap.